Yo, what's going on, everybody? Just straight to the Boston, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back for episode 2 of the New England Patriots Connected Franchise Mode here on Madden 25 on the PlayStation 4, and it's time to get into the offseason. It's time to re-sign our guys. Now, at the beginning of the offseason, I wanted to target Aqib Talib, Julian Edelman, and LeGarrette Blount as the three guys I really wanted to get back. So you can see we're offering Aqib Talib. We're going to give him a 4-year total of, I believe, $34 million. That's $8.5 a year. And here we go, Julian Edelman also going to get 4 years. He's going to get, I believe, looks like we're going to give him $1 million guaranteed per year. So that's 4 years, $20 million. And then the last guy, LeGarrette Blount, also going to get a 4-year deal. I really want to keep these pieces moving forward. He's going to get a bit of a cheaper contract, but he's still going to get some nice guaranteed money right here. So we're going to up this all the way to $500,000. He gets 4 years, $10 million, and they're going to accept those deals. You can see we also get Wills Vitek back, a backup right tackle, and Rob Ninkovich on a 3-year, I believe, $15 or $20 million deal, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. As well as Dane Fletcher, and then Michael Olamanu, we were also going to get back. But here is the first blockbuster trade of the offseason. Rob Gronkowski and Ryan Mallett to the Vikings for the 14th pick in the draft. Gronkowski, an injury-prone tight end, who I just wanted nothing to do with moving forward with this team. Danny Amendola we're also going to cut since we got Julian Edelman back. And I'm going to be targeting a big-name wide receiver, not only in free agency, but in the draft, I should say. And here is that big-name free agent wide receiver, Eric Decker, I'm going to go after. 6'3", player from the Denver Broncos, formerly went to Minnesota for college. He is a big-name wideout for the Denver Broncos. I'm thinking we could try to get him. He could really stabilize our receiving core, give us some weapons on offense. That's the thing I'm really lacking with this team right now. We have a solid defense. I want to build on that moving forward, but on offense, we need more weapons. So we're also going to be going after Clay Harbor, a tight end from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got a recommendation from Moonlight Swami, who runs a Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. We're also going to go to Quentin Carter, a safety who has only played 3 games in the last 2 years for the Denver Broncos, but he's a very good safety. I thought we could get on the cheap because of his injury status and his injury proneness or whatever. We're also going to go after Evan Dietrich Smith to try and replace Ryan Wendell. And we're going to give him a 3-year contract offer, no guaranteed money. But first, we're going to get Quentin Carter wrapped up 4 years. He got a little bit of guaranteed money, and I actually was completely unaware of his injury history, so probably wouldn't have given him so much guaranteed money if I had known he was injured before. But we'll see how it works out. We'll also get Eric Decker to sign. That's big for us. He adds some really good weaponry to our offense. And we're going to get Clay Harbor, too, a guy that I'm really looking forward to having on the team. So that's that. And you can see we're also going to end up releasing Steve Gregory now that we got Quentin Carter. He did have a bit of a guaranteed contract, but we freed up cap room nonetheless, as well as Nate Ebner, a special team specialist. So we released both those guys, and you can see the sweepstakes winner, Eric Decker. As you can see some other free agents signings and stories here. D'Angelo Hall to Cincinnati, they'll bolster their secondary. Brent Grimes to Oakland, a little bit surprising. Greg Hardy to San Francisco, as if they need any help on the front 7. Well, they're getting a Doug Bluth threw me off, but Greg Hardy. And you can see some draft stories here. Shady Monroe within reach. He's being compared to Calvin Johnson Jr. Hakeem Okongwu is being compared to former Kansas City Chief Christian Okoye. And you can see Josh Freeman gets 4 years and $28.8 million from the Cardinals. I don't know what they're doing. Nnamdi Asomugha in Indianapolis. And you can see fans in Buffalo excited to hear, I believe, actually I have no idea who that was. I didn't even get a chance to read that, but Emmanuel Sanders to Oakland on a big 5-year contract. That's pretty big for a guy who hasn't proven himself too much. Jeremy Maclin to Indianapolis. That's going to give Andrew Luck some weapon, or another weapon down there. And Antoine Winfield getting a 1-year deal with, I believe that was the Ravens. Ahmad Bradshaw to the Jaguars. And you can see the final draft stories before we head into the draft coming up next. But you can see Doug Bluth, Shady Monroe, the number 1 overall pick, what's his name? It's like Algren Kyotum or something, Pop Warren, just a couple guys in these stories, but you can take a look. The storylines really intrigued me, and I think it made it a lot more interesting. I never really paid attention to these in Madden 13, but these really add some depth to this draft class, which I thought was cool, and I thought this was a pretty cool draft class considering it has a 36-year-old Heisman-winning quarterback, a kicker who can make 70-yard field goals, and a 6'8" beast of a receiver. But nonetheless, DeMarcus Singleton, also a guy with 99 speed, another kind of interesting guy. So I thought this was a very interesting draft class. Thought it was pretty cool. But you can see we're skipping ahead into the draft. Cleveland gets the first pick. We have the 3rd pick after our 5-11 season. So here we go. We're going to advance to our next pick. And Algren Kyotum and Jamarcus Hall, the first 2 picks. So with our pick, we're going to go over to the Make Your Pick screen. As you can see, the first 2 picks. And we're going to draft the guy that I've been targeting for a while now, 6'8" from UCF, wide receiver university, produces the likes of Brandon Marshall, among others, Shady Monroe.
Over to Adam Schefter for more on this pick.
Some scouts have been whispering that UCF wide receiver Shady Monroe is a taller version of Calvin Johnson Jr. That's high praise for the 6'8" son of street ball legend Stretch Monroe. Draft expert Matt Miller tells me the knock on him has been concerns about his speed, but he answered those at his pro day running a much faster 40 than expected. This team should feel pretty good about getting such a dominant red zone threat that can start right away if needed.
So that is a huge pickup for the team, but now we need a quarterback. With the 14th overall pick, we're definitely reaching for Pop Warren, and I wanted to trade down both of these picks, but for some reason that screen was not available for me, but nonetheless.
What info do you have on this latest pick?
TCU quarterback Blake Pop Warren has become a cult hero in Texas. You see his jersey everywhere these days. The 36-year-old quarterback led TCU to a 12-1 overall record, breaking Andy Dalton's single-season passing records along the way. Not to mention, he became the oldest player to win the Heisman too. Not a bad haul. 16 years ago, he walked off the team. Now he's walking right into the NFL, onto a team that knows it might only have him for a season or two. Expect Pop to win lots of games if given the opportunity.
So now moving on to the second round, we're going to be taking Hakeem Okonkwo. I feel like he can be our change of pace back for the future, and the story really intrigued me, so I figured it would be a little bit more fun to kind of go after some of the guys with stories.
And now here's Adam Schefter with more on this latest pick.
Lehigh running back Hakeem Okonkwo is a Nigerian track star turned football player that set the world on fire during his senior season, until he went down with a knee injury, only 2 yards shy of the single-season rushing record. The Christian Okoye lookalike missed out on the combine in his pro day, which concerned some GMs, but this team didn't blink when it had a shot at Okonkwo. Smart move. Matt Miller tells me that his fundamentals need work and injuries could be a concern, but this kid is a beast. Letting him slip one more pick would have been unthinkable.
So for those of you kind of questioning my draft picks right now, I'll explain them a little bit later, but we're also going to take Ross Borky, a 6'7" Florida tight end, the guy that I'm hoping can be our tight end for the future, hopefully Rob Gronkowski's replacement. He is 6'7". Very excited about that, and I kept going back to Doug Blue thinking, like, oh, I should really take this guy, like, get Bob 70 yards, it's going to be so fun to play with, but come on, I do not need him as a third-round pick, so I'm going to trade away my third-round pick and actually get a future second-round pick from Atlanta. I guess they were targeting someone in this draft or something. We had a lot of offers for that pick, but here we go. Later in the third round, we have another third-round pick, and I'm coming back to Doug Blue, and I'm like, oh, come on, he'd be kind of fun, but once again, I'm going to trade away my other third-round pick, and I'm doing this for a reason. You'll see it at the later in the episode. I'm trading away these picks for a reason. There weren't too many players that I targeted in this draft class, but with our fourth-round pick, fourth round, third pick in the fourth round, we're going to take Blake Vasquez. He's only 22. He's not 36 years old like Pop Warren, so I'm hoping he can kind of sit behind Warren for a couple years and become that quarterback for the future. Then we have one more fourth-round pick that we're going to trade away for a future third-round pick from the Chicago Bears. And now we're going to take it to DeMarcus Singleton in the fifth round, third pick in the fifth round. DeMarcus Singleton, no college, 99 speed though, could be like a project wide receiver. I think when you have a skill like that though, you can find some sort of place in the league. Sixth round, we're going to be taking Chad Bradford to give us some depth at the line. And then in the seventh round, I actually was trying to take this punter, I was going to try to take Kennedy Ajawara. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but you can see the timer, it actually passes us and it auto picks for us. It picks some middle linebacker you'll see at the end, and I didn't even realize it when it happened. I was still trying to pick Kennedy Ajawara, but I believe he ended up actually picking for the Raiders, because you're going to see they end up drafting him with the fourth pick in the seventh round. But that's the draft. You can take a look at the contracts for the guys we signed, or the guys we drafted. But after that, and you can see here's the middle linebacker return. It's like Beckett Shinhoster, but here is a big trade we're pulling off. 2 second-round picks for Devontae Pravia, a rookie center who I wanted to get in the second round, but he ended up falling past our pick after we took Hakeem Okonkwo. So we're going to deal 2 second-round picks. Yes, we definitely overpaid for him, but they're very elected to trade rookies in this game. And then here we go, a third-round pick and a second-round pick for Sean Lee, guy that was franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys in this. Even though he signed a 6-year, $42 million extension in real life, he was a risk for heading into unrestricted free agency for the Cowboys. They were shopping him around. I decided to attack it, and we're going to get a nice trade in right there. So we bolster our team, and here's a quick sped up version of me going through my depth chart, but we plug a couple holes there with Brandon Spikes gone. Sean Lee is definitely a better player than him. And with Ryan Mundell gone, Devontae Pravia, not only younger, but a guy who we can develop and is probably better than Ryan Mundell was. So that's really big for us. I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, so those are two really big trades for us. And you can see we're signing a couple players to fill out some depth on our team. But the reason I drafted guys like Hakeem Okonkwo and Pop Warren, you know, I know it might not have been the best moves for moving forward, but part of this series is I just want to have fun with it. I'm not looking to take it like so seriously and being like super like mega NFL junkie or whatever. Like, I just want to have fun with it, and it's going to be more fun for me to be playing with this crazy 36-year-old quarterback who we might only get 4 years out of. But you know, we do have Blake Vasquez, who's our plan for the future. We're going to hope to develop him for a couple years under Pop Warren and then move forward with him. And then Hakeem Okonkwo, this does give us the option to probably cut Brandon Bolden, which we'll probably do in the preseason. He can become that change of pace back that we need to complement LeGarrette Blount, and then we have Shane Vereen to be the third down back. So I think it's just more interesting that way. I'm sorry if you guys are probably going to get called out in the comments for making dumb draft picks, but I like this team. I've already played a game with them, and I've had a lot of fun with it, so that's really what counts at the end of the day, right? I mean, I'm just trying to have fun with this series, but that's going to do it. So we're into the preseason. Episode 3 is going to be week 1 of the regular season. I'm just going to skip the preseason. I'm not trying to draw out this series any longer than I need to. So that's going to hopefully be out in a couple of days. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I've already played the game, and I had a lot of fun playing with that team. I'm really excited moving forward. So that's going to do it for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. It doesn't matter. Peace.